ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE News and Rumors. I'm your host, Mr. Brandon Hodge. So this video is brought to you by SeatGeek. So if you guys are looking for tickets for any event in the entire world, it's going to be a wrestling show, you need a ticket for a show. Well, go to SeatGeek, use code Hodge, this is my last name, saves $20 off your tickets. Now, it's for first time orders only, so if you guys used SeatGeek before, just make a new account. You can still use the code Hodge, and save yourself $20 off any ticket for any show, any event in the entire world. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we're gonna jump into this. I'm sick. You can kind of tell in my voice. I'm trying to hide it with the way I'm talking, but yeah, I'm not feeling well. Anyway, I'm here nonetheless because I have a dedication to this channel. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and nothing is gonna stop me, especially not a little cold. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and jump into this with the first and only news story of the day. So this one is about the Nature Boy. I'll give you guys a really ready for this. So get ready to roll. Let me step back. So time to talk about a little Ric Flair. Nature Boy, actually, a little Ric Flair strut gun on here. We're talking about the Nature Boy. We're talking about Ric Flair today. So this is about the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And this one, this is coming from Ric Flair directly. He's basically said, whoever may be working on a Ric Flair movie, a Ric Flair biopic movie, if you will, like a reenactment of his life. I don't know why he name-dropped Bradley Cooper, but he name-dropped Bradley Cooper, maybe playing him or something. That doesn't mean like Bradley Cooper's playing, that just means they've talked to him. Apparently they're in talks with Bradley Cooper about this project. I don't know what this means, but basically, Ric Flair has had a crazy life. In the professional wrestling business, Ric Flair may have had the craziest life. Like, he has that, the gimmick is him. That's not a gimmick, that's Ric Flair. That's who the guy is. So he's had an absolutely wild life. And it definitely would make a good movie. I do have to say that. I don't know if this is actually going to come out. I know Ric Flair's mentioned this in the past, I believe, and many wrestlers have talked about this in the past. It just never happens, but it would be really cool if this happens. It would be very cool if it would be on like a large stage where it's like released in theaters all around the country and all around the world. It would be really cool, and it wasn't like such a hopefully it's not going to be like a small project. I'm sure if we have a giant actor like Bradley Cooper in it, it's going to be a large project. But who knows? I think it would be very cool. We'll just have to wait and see. Ric Flair himself says that there's a Ric Flair biopic kind of movie coming out, maybe in the works here soon. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so actually the only confirmed news story I had to talk to you guys about today. So go and get your juice boxes out. Get your juice boxes ready, because ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to talk about some juicy rumors. So the first rumor of the day is going to be about none other than Ronda Rousey. Okay, so however you may feel about her current run, I'll give my personal opinion, because that's what I always do here on the channel. I like to kind of have a conversation, not just give you guys the news. We're kind of have a conversation. I started here, and you guys like resume it in the comments. We pick it up in the comments. But basically, Ronda Rousey, I believe the second run ever since she came back. You know, of course, she started her family. She had a baby, which is absolutely phenomenal and amazing. But ever since she came back, I feel like it hasn't been as solid as it was in the first run. Like the first run, she was just like this beast, this like monster of a UFC fighter just coming into wrestling and just taking everyone by storm, taking the championships, and no one can like even touch her. She's untouchable or whatever. I mean, I feel like the second run, it's not have that kind of like feeling around her run at all, or around her character or anything like that. I feel like, I don't necessarily know if it's her fault. I believe a lot of it comes down to creative and booking and stuff like that. But I think that's just how I feel. But apparently, WWE right now, what they want to do for Ronda Rousey, and they've tried to do this in the past, it's worked to some degree in the past, they want to make Ronda Rousey kind of like a female Brock Lesnar. Like, they want her, not in the sense of like Lesnar's like wrestling style or anything like that, but they kind of want to make her in the sense of like a drawing kind of person. Like, Lesnar doesn't have to have a championship to be a huge draw on a show. Like, if Brock Lesnar's wrestling, that's a big deal. That sells a lot of tickets as is. Like, Brock Lesnar is here, he's at the show, it's a huge deal. They kind of want the same thing for Ronda Rousey, how she doesn't have to have a championship to be a big deal. And if she's just randomly wrestling at a show, everyone's like, oh my god, Ronda Rousey's gonna be here. And I feel like years ago, it did have that vibe. Like, Ronda's gonna be here, that's a big deal. But since then, I feel like the kind of effect has kind of wore off. And I think they're trying to get that back and trying to capture that magic that, oh my god, Ronda Rousey is gonna be at the show we're going to. So that is what they're trying to capture right now, kind of that Brock Lesnar kind of thing, where it's like, Lesnar's here. Like, Lesnar doesn't have to have a championship, Rousey doesn't have to have a championship to be a huge draw. They're kind of working on that now. And it'll be interesting to see how they like change things going around Ronda Rousey going forward. Alright, the next rumor is about our tribal chief and our undisputed Universal Champion. This is about the head of the table. This is about Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns is currently our Undisputed Universal Champion. He's been Universal Champion for a while. I guess the whole Undisputed Universal Championship thing's kind of new, but I believe we're just counting the whole reign together as we will. So yeah, it's been a very, very long time. Like, I don't know the exact day, but it's over 700, 800, whatever days it is at this point. It's just absolutely crazy. But, there's a but. Why did Roman Reigns win at Clash of the Castle? Why didn't they have Drew win? Like, it was a perfect setting to have Roman drop the titles, because I know that's something they were wanting to do in the future, is to have Roman drop the titles, because the rumors are saying, Roman Reigns is wrestling his cousin, none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. At WrestleMania 39, the rumors were like Roman might not be going in with championships, but maybe they changed it around. Maybe he is going in with the championships. But basically, the reason that Roman did beat Drew McIntyre is they felt like Roman's reign and his legacy right now is more important than just having like a giant crowd reaction for Drew in his home place, if you will. So basically, that's the reason. They're seeing Roman Reigns at a whole nother level. So basically, the plan here, I think they're trying to have him beat over 1,000 days, maybe even more. Apparently, the backstage kind of word or the things that they're talking about with Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns is pretty much going to be the legend or the icon of this generation. So basically, you go through WWE history, right? The icon of the 80s, I don't know, like a Ric Flair or a Hulk Hogan or something. 90s, you had Stone Cold Steve Austin, you had The Rock, you had Bret Hart. Those are a few people you could choose as the legend or the icon of that era or whatever. I'm sure there's a million others. Early 2000s, you might look at like a John Cena or something like that. In modern day, it looks like we're looking at our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, as that icon, as that legend going forward, because he's going to have this championship for over 1,000 days. Now, I'm not saying all those people I just listed had a championship for over 1,000 days, because they most certainly did not, but basically this is a way just to elevate Roman to definitely be on that level and be remembered as a giant icon of this generation. So basically, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to make Roman Reigns as big of a deal, something that's going to really stick in the history books when we look at professional wrestling as a whole, look at WWE history as a whole. And yeah, basically, Reigns holding on to the championship at least to 1,000 days. He's too close now not to hit 1,000 days. And he's going to go way beyond that, probably. And I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But basically, that's the ideal backstage. That's what they're thinking is Roman Reigns is going to be a legend, an icon, a Mount Rushmore of this whole generation. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the final news, the final rumor, the final thing we're talking about inside this episode of WWE News Rumors. This is about none other than the guy we haven't talked about in a little while. This is about none other than the Super Cena himself. This is about John Cena. Oh, I'm so happy to talk about John Cena. I miss talking about the guy. I really do. He's my favorite wrestler growing up, and I love talking about the guy. Although, he's not really a per se wrestler now. He's more of an actor. He does acting more. A part-time wrestler, I guess, now. He's Mr. Hollywood now. We got John Cena. So basically, this is about John Cena's WWE return. Now, of course, kind of like recently, Cena popped up right before SummerSlam for the 20th anniversary. Thought Cena was going to be at SummerSlam wrestling, but that couldn't happen because he actually had to film a movie. Insurance policies for these movies does not allow him to do dangerous activities such as professional wrestling, because there's a risk of injury no matter what you're doing. I mean, anything can be like messed up just a little bit, and it can turn bad. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a disastrous injury, but it could be like something like a broken nose that could take him off of being able to film for a while, which is obviously Cena happened to him before. But basically, Cena wins his next match, because we want the guy wrestling again. He has not wrestled this whole freaking year. We'd love to see Cena back in the ring wrestling. So when's this going to be? Well, apparently we're looking at right at WrestleMania time. WrestleMania 39, of course, is in Hollywood, so it kind of fits with the new John Cena Hollywood theme. So yeah, we have John Cena versus Theory at WrestleMania 39. Of course, we thought this would happen at SummerSlam. This is massively overdue. This is a feud a lot of people want because there's a lot of comparisons between Theory and a young John Cena. So I think this feud will be really cool. They're going to be very interesting. I'd love to see Cena back in the ring because I do miss the hell out of the guy. But yeah, that is the current rumor right now about a John Cena return. And about a John Cena actually wrestling return, like in the ring, actually wrestling. So yeah, guys, that's actually going to do it for this episode of WWE News Rumors. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on all these news stories and rumors in the comment section down below. But ladies and gentlemen, I am your king of Lockstyle, Brandon Hodge, and I will see you guys in the next video.